What's up, YouTube? Zero here, and today I have an epic battle against the Headless Horseman, or the Dullahan, in Dragon's Dogma 2. In this video, I will show you the battle against the Headless Horseman, and I'll give you some tips and tricks that I learned to hopefully help you defeat the Headless Horseman more easily. Now, I say this is an epic battle because to this point in the game, I'm in the Unmoored World, so this is the end game. This has been the toughest boss battle for me. You could see to start, I actually found the Headless Horseman bopping back and forth between a couple of spots on the map where he wasn't targeting me, yet he was still within my spell cast range. So I was trying to cheese the battle as much as possible. That's why his health bar is diminished as far as it is. I didn't want to play you that entire first section of the battle because it was 10 minutes to get me to that point. I didn't even get through one health bar. 7 minutes, didn't even get through one health bar before he finally grew a head on him. Yep, pun intended, and transported out of that location to a point where he started attacking my pawns and myself. Now, before I get into it, I do want to say if you do enjoy this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more Dragon's Dogma 2 content. I do a bunch of other video games. Thank you so much in advance for giving this a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. It does really help me out, so thank you so much for doing so. Now let's talk about this Headless Horseman. He's in the Unmoored World. I encounter him while I'm still searching for my main pawn. Yes, as soon as you get to the end game, the Unmoored World, your first quest is to find your pawn because you have been separated from your pawn. So if you are in the Unmoored World, I would actually recommend trying to find your pawn before taking on the Headless Horseman. Of course, being one pawn down is a disadvantage in itself, because instead of 4 party members, you're now at 3. My pawn is a mage, so he's my healer. So on top of me not having an extra body to help attack the Headless Horseman, I also don't have my healer. So that makes this battle a little bit harder. Definitely recommend having a healer in this one. You can see how quick the Headless Horseman attacks. He has this dash move that, as a sorcerer, I can't avoid if he's targeting me. But really, as any class, it's going to be pretty hard to get out of. Your best bet, if you are a close range class, to block it. If you're a thief, dodge it. If you're a ranged class, avoid it altogether. So try not to be targeted. What made this battle even harder for me is because I'm in the Unmoored World and I don't have my pawn, I don't want to rest at camps or an inn. Reason being, for those of you who don't know the Unmoored World, is that's how you pass time, and you don't want to pass time because this Unmoored World, the cloud on the outskirts of the town, are sucking in citizens, and it's going to kill these citizens by passing time if you don't evacuate those towns. So I'm trying not to pass time, so I'm trying not to sleep or rest so I don't pass time. Well, that puts me in a rough situation because I have a lack of health, my pawns have a lack of health, and I don't have one of my pawns. So that's what made this battle even harder for me. So first, I would recommend finding your main pawn, because I'm assuming your main pawn is going to be the pawn that complements your party the best. That's why you made that pawn vocation your main. So unfortunately, I don't have my main pawn in this battle, making it even worse. If you are a ranged class like I am, I would recommend staying on the outskirts, not being targeted. This battle in particular, because the Headless Horseman is quick and deals a lot of damage. You saw him with his 3 slashes in a row, just eating through my health, and there was nothing I could do at that point. He was targeting me. My pawns were doing absolutely nothing. They're just chilling. You can see how many times they've gone down in this battle. But he is very hard hitting. He does a lot of damage. So if you can be a ranged class taken on the Headless Horseman, that's going to be better. As soon as he starts targeting you, honestly, I would just turn tail and run and wait for your pawns to start hitting him, because if he gets to you, it's probably not going to be a good story for you. He targeted me a lot. So that's just something to be aware of. Now, he is weak to Holy. So if you have some form of holy damage, I would recommend utilizing it. His weak point is his head. Of course, he's the Headless Horseman, so try and target his head where you can. Now, he does have a growl, which is going to render you unconscious, so try to stay away from that. If he gets up on you, uses it, you're going to be rendered unconscious, so make sure you have debilitation heals for that if he does happen to do that. Stay away from his pink aura. This is going to slowly drain your health, so be aware of that. And again, utilizing ranged combat is really going to be the key for this one. Hopefully relying on your pawns. Like, I mean, I wasn't able to do a ton because they went down a lot, but as much as possible, I would try and rely on your pawns. Now, after you do defeat the Headless Horseman for the first time, you get an achievement before dawn breaks, so that's pretty cool of getting an achievement. But again, this guy was tough as shit. You could see, as soon as I came down, he knew as soon as I was done floating that he was going to attack me. He's a pretty smart enemy. He's a really tough enemy. So again, I recommend, if you can, utilize a vocation where you can stay on the outskirts. If not, if you are a vocation that's up close and personal, get a couple of hits and then get ready to either dodge or block depending on your vocation, because he hits hard and he is a fast mover. So I would try and get a few hits in and then back out. Unfortunately, again, you can see his hits are really tearing through me, and he targets me a lot, which is crazy considering I do have an augment on that says enemies target me or are less likely to target me. So it's pretty crazy that he targets me as much as he is, but you just have to be aware. Try and stay away from him as much as possible. Let your pawns take the brunt of the damage if you can. And if you're in the Unmoored World like I am, and you haven't gotten your pawn yet, I recommend doing that first, because all the bodies in this battle are absolutely gonna help you out. We are coming down to the end of the video. Let me know if you faced the Headless Horseman yet, and if you have, is this the hardest battle for you? Because I know it was the hardest battle for me in this game. I faced pretty much everything. I faced dragons, unmoored dragons. I faced the dragon at the end of the game, Chimera, Cyclops, everything that you can name, I faced it. This was by far the hardest for me. But let me know in the comments section if you've had as difficulty as I have. You can see these purple orbs. Just run away from them. They're pretty easy to dodge. It's just once he starts targeting you and does that dash, that it does make it insanely hard to avoid, at least as a sorcerer, because I don't have an avoid move. And he just goes to town with a barrage of moves when he's up on you. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Again, if you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Finally defeated this Headless Horseman. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a beat when it comes to Dragon's Dogma content or other RPGs or video games that I may be coming out with. So be on the lookout for those. Thank y'all for hitting that sub button and liking. Comment in the comment section anything Dragon's Dogma. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and until next time, peace.